Hello and welcome back to Mecha Encyclopedia. I've been wanting to do this one since Robo Devolution was added to Super Robot Wars 30. However, Devolution Getter 3 was a bit blank in its entry, and it stayed like that for a really long time, so I shelved it, until now. Today we'll be taking a look at Devolution Getters 1, 2, and 3 in the Mech Encyclopedia section of Super Robot Wars 30, with some more insight from outside of the game. As usual, there will be spoilers for the manga, so I encourage you to check it out if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Before we get started with the Mech Encyclopedia entries, a bit of background for this Robo manga. Robo Devolution is the latest manga in the franchise as of recording, running from 2015 to 2019. It consists of 38 chapters spanning 5 volumes. It was created by Eiichi Shimizu and Tomohiro Shimoguchi, who you may know from the Ultraman manga that got an anime adaptation, which is also featured in Super Robot Wars 30. They also did Line Barrels of Iron, which debuted in Super Robot Wars L, and Shimizu did the design for Vangray from Super Robot Wars V. These guys have had quite a bit of involvement with Super Robot Wars over the years. So let's get into this version of Robo. The one we'll be looking at is the post-virtual world version, which is the one featured in Super Robot Wars 30. It's referred to as the evolved form of the adapted one, created when Ryoma adapted to the virtual world, destroying it shortly after to escape into the real world to save it as a way of rebelling against the creator of their simulated one. The Devolution Getter 1 Mech Encyclopedia entry reads, "The version of Robo formed when the Eagle machine piloted by Ryoma combines as the main unit with the Jaguar machine and the Bear machine. This getter was built by Dr. Saotome and others based on the memories of hundreds of millions of virtual worlds. When Ryoma adapted to the virtual world and fully awoke, it started being called the evolved form of the adapted one. It is powered by Getter rays, a form of energy that stimulates evolution. Its core stores an enormous amount of energy, enough to destroy the world near instantly. Its main weapons are the tomahawk stored in the outer armor of its shoulders and the Getter beam fired from the center of its chest. Nagare Ryoma is the main pilot, with the combining configuration being Eagle, Jaguar, and Bear. Size and weight aren't mentioned anywhere, but I would guess it's about the same size or slightly bigger than Shin Getter. This Robo was developed using the collective knowledge of over 900 million simulated worlds, along with an actual fragment of the Emperor. This essentially makes it a smaller version of Robo's final form from the original manga, Getter Emperor. Devolution Getter 1 is the primary form, which is typical of all combining Robos. It's the most balanced of the three, able to utilize powerful close-range and long-range attacks. It has incredibly strong punching power, with Getter razors on its forearms to slice up its enemies. It also has the classic Getter tomahawks in the form of either 2 cleavers or combined into a double-edged axe. In addition, it can sting with its long tail. For ranged attacks, it can shoot a concentrated Getter beam from an opening in its chest, or multiple homing beams from its shoulders. It can even combine both into a devastatingly powerful Getter beam, possibly capable of destroying a planet. Finally, it can use the Stoner Sunshine, which is typically a Shin Getter ability. In the manga, real-world Ryoma asks Virtual Ryoma if this Getter has the same abilities as the real-world one they piloted. Simulation Ryoma answers that it has the memories of all Getters from the 900 million virtual worlds. This implies that Devolution Getter can use abilities from any and all Getter Robos across the franchise. So we pretty much have a Getter Emperor on our hands, and it's the closest thing we got to a playable one in the history of Super Robot Wars. This also means we have the closest thing to a Getter Emperor 2 and 3 shown in any of the media. Let's move on to the other 2 Devolution Getter forms. The Devolution Getter 2 Mech Encyclopedia entry reads, "The version of Robo formed when the Jaguar machine piloted by Hayato combines as the main unit with the Bear machine and Eagle machine. It specializes in ground combat at supersonic speeds, and is fast enough to leave after images of itself in its wake. Its main weapon is the drill on its left arm, which it can use to burrow and travel underground. Jin Hayato is the main pilot, with the combining configuration being Jaguar, Bear, and Eagle. It's pretty much just a souped-up Getter too. All of its attacks consist of using a drill, either to run up and pierce the opponent or fire it from a range. Gameplay-wise, you can transform into Getter 2 for the increased movement, move, then transform into whatever Getter you want, just like previous iterations. Now let's move on to my personal favorite Getter form, Getter 3. The Devolution Getter 3 Mecha Encyclopedia reads, "The version of Robo formed when the Bear machine piloted by Benkei combines as the main unit with the Eagle machine and Jaguar machine. It was designed for underwater combat, so its armor is tough enough to withstand deep water pressure. It is equipped with a wide range of missiles and also demonstrates powerful melee techniques utilizing its extendable arms. Benkei Kuruma is the main pilot, with the combining configuration being Bear, Eagle, and Jaguar. This Getter 3 is incredibly powerful close range with heavy armor, using its extendable arms to close the gap with its opponents. Benkei also utilizes his experience in judo in combat. It has missiles that can fire from its tank treads. This form is mainly used for underwater combat, able to handle the pressures of being in deep water. And that's it for Robo Devolution's Mecha Encyclopedia. I'll just add this as a side note here, but Devolution Getter does do a Shine Spark at the end of the manga, but it isn't a move in Super Robot Wars 30, so I didn't mention it earlier. I am working on a Getter Robo Devolution retrospective video, going pretty in-depth with the whole manga, so subscribe if you'd be interested in seeing that soon. I would greatly appreciate it. I don't have a ton of time to work on these videos, so these longer form ones take quite a while to get done. Drop a comment how you felt about Getter Robo Devolution and which series you'd like to see next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.